Announcer bot is active. The qualification session is at R Factor Conversion in Broadlands Road, Taupo, New Zealand. The wind speed is 9 km/h from the northeast. Danny van Rooyen is first. Danny van Rooyen is up 24.88 in T4. Danny van Rooyen is up 25.40 in T9. Danny van Rooyen improved his first with a 125.214. The qualifying session is now in overtime. Announcer bot is active. Danny van Rooyen from Netherlands in T1 is P1. Blake Kruger from South Africa is 4th. Nardus Fick from South Africa in T8 is 3rd. Colin Sassman from South Africa is P2. Craig Westley from New Zealand is P1. Best lap is a 2:03.008. The race session is at R-Factor Conversion in Broadlands Road, Taupo, New Zealand. The wind speed is 7 km/h from the northeast. Race start. Brendan Gryasel from South Africa is P2. Peter Grobler from South Africa in T2 is 4th. JD Ellis from South Africa in T5 is P4. Nardus Fick from South Africa in T8 is P5. Colin Sassman from South Africa is P6. Colin Sassman is now 5th. Mike McGeer entering the pits is P1. Ryan B is 11th. Her bell alarm 16 from Italy in T12 is P13. Cohen Sassman in T3 is 5th, 0.4 behind Nard is 5th. Nard is 5th in T6 on lap 2 is 5th, 0.4 ahead of Dole. Dole from South Africa is P6, 0.4 behind Nard is 5th. Craig Westley from New Zealand in T11 is 8th, 0.2 ahead of Ryan P. Ryan P from South Africa is 8th. 10 minutes remaining in the session. Craig Westley is 9th, 0.4 behind Ryan P. Dolph in T3 is 6th, 0.5 behind Nard is 5th. Dolph was 0.7 faster last lap. Ryan P is 8th, 0.4 behind Ernest Heather. Nard is 5th in T11 is P5, 1.0 ahead of Dole. Ryan P is 8th, 0.3 behind Ernest Heather. JD Ellis in T14 is 11th, 0.2 behind Herbal Alarm 16. Janine Glad entering the pits is 14. Ryan P in T4 is P8, 0.4 behind Ernest Heather. Janine Glad exiting pits. Craig Westley in T7 is P9, 0.5 behind Ryan P. Tommy Glad from South Africa is 13th, 0.4 behind Blake Kruger. Tommy Glad passed Blake Kruger for P12. Ryan P is 8th, 0.3 behind Ernest Heather. Janine Glad from South Africa in T11 is 14th. Ryan P in T2 is 8th, 0.3 behind Ernest Heather. Janine Glad on lap 3 is 14th. Ryan P in T10 is P8, 0.5 behind Ernest Heather. Dolph is 6th, 0.9 behind Nardusvik. Ryan P from South Africa is P8, 0.3 behind Ernest Heather. Minutes remaining in the session. Dolph from South Africa in T9 is 6th, 0.9 behind Nardusvik. Ryan P in T11 is 8th, 0.2 behind Ernest Heather. Dolph is 6th, 0.3 behind Nardusvik. Ryan P from South Africa is P8, 0.3 behind Ernest Heather. Nardusvik from South Africa in T7 is 5th, 0.6 behind Cohen Sassman. Ryan P in T9 is P8, 0.3 behind Ernest Heather. Nardusvik from South Africa is 5th, 0.2 behind Cohen Sassman. Ryan P on lap 7 is 8th, 0.3 behind Ernest Heather. Nardusvik in T1 is P5, 0.5 behind Cohen Sassman. Ryan P is P8, 0.3 behind Ernest Heather. Nardusvik is 5th. Best lap is a 1:26.885. 2.211 off the fastest lap. Ryan P on lap 8 is P8, 0.3 behind Ernest Heather. Peter Grobler from South Africa in T14 is 3rd, 0.5 behind Brendan Gryasel. Ryan P in T14 is P8. Peter Grobler is P3, 0.9 behind Brendan Gryasel. Ryan P from South Africa in T8 is P8, 0.3 behind Ernest Heather. Dolph is 6, 1.0 behind Nardusvik. Ryan P is 8th, 0.2 behind Ernest Heather. Craig Wesley is P9, 0.5 behind Ryan P. Ryan P is 8th. Best lap is a 1:26.889. 2.215 off the fastest lap. Craig Wesley in T11 is P9, 0.4 behind Ryan P. Ernest Heather from South Africa in T12 is 8th, 0.2 behind Ryan P. Craig Wesley on lap 11 is 9, 0.2 behind Ernest Heather. Craig Wesley was 1.7 faster last lap. Peter Grobler from South Africa is 3rd, 1.1 behind Brendan Gryasel. The leader has just finished the race. Danny van Rooyen from Netherlands finished P1. Tommy Glad finished 13th. Brendan Gryasel finished P2. Peter Grobler finished P3. Cohen Sassman finished 4th. Nardusvik finished P5. Dolph finished P6. Ryan P finished 7th. Ernest Heather finished P8. Craig Wesley finished 9th. Herb Alalarm 16 finished P10. JD Ellis finished 11th. Blake Kruger finished P12. Janine Glad finished P14. Announcer bot is active. Ryan P from South Africa in T1 is P2. Cohen Sassman from South Africa in T3 is third. Mike McGeer from South Africa in T3 is second. Danny van Rooyen from Netherlands in T8 is P3. Craig Westley from New Zealand in T1 is P1. Best lap is a 2:31.907. The race session is at R Factor Conversion in Broadlands Road, Taupo, New Zealand. The wind speed is 13 km/h from the north-northeast. Race start. Brendan Gryasel from South Africa is P2. Peter Grobler from South Africa in T2 is P3. Nardus Fick from South Africa in T5 is P4. JD Ellis from South Africa in T7 is P11. Mike McGeer from South Africa is P11. Mike McGeer is now 10th. JD Ellis is P11. Brendan Gryasel is third, 0.4 behind Peter Grobler. Dole from South Africa is fifth. 0.2 behind Ryan P. Brendan Griesel in T7 is P3, 0.5 behind Peter Grobler. Cohen Sassman entering the pits is 15th. Mike McGear in T8 is 8th, 0.2 behind Tommy Glad. Mike McGear passed Tommy Glad for P7. Tommy Glad from South Africa in T11 is 8th, 0.1 behind Mike McGear. Brendan Griesel in T13 is 3rd, 0.5 behind Peter Grobler. Mike McGear is P7, 0.4 behind Ernest Heather. JD Ellis is P10. Best lap is a 128.553. 3.147 off the fastest lap. Blake Kruger from South Africa in T3 on lap 3 is P14, 0.3 behind Nardus Fick. Mike McGear is 7th. Best lap is a 126.658. 1.252 off the fastest lap. JD Ellis in T11 is 10th, 0.4 behind Craig Westlake. Janine Glad from South Africa is 11th, 0.4 behind JD Ellis. JD Ellis was 0.5 faster last lap. Mike McGear is P7, 0.3 behind Ernest Heather. JD Ellis is 9th, 0.4 behind Craig Westlake. Janine Glad is P11, 0.4 behind Tommy Glad. Mike McGear is P7, 0.5 behind Ernest Heather. Janine Glad from South Africa in T11 is P11, 0.4 behind Tommy Glad. Janine Glad was 2.6 faster last lap. Mike McGear in T13 on lap 4 is P7, 0.5 behind Ernest Heather. JD Ellis is 9th, 0.5 behind Craig Westlake. Mike McGear is P7, 0.1 behind Ernest Heather. Janine Glad in T6 is 11th, 0.5 behind Tommy Glad. from South Africa is 7th, 0.2 behind Ernest Heather. J.D. Ellis is P9, 0.6 behind Craig Westlake. Mike McDeer is 7th. Mike McDeer passed Ernest Heather for P6. J.D. Ellis from South Africa is 9th, 0.3 behind Craig Westlake. Craig Westley from New Zealand is 8th, 0.6 ahead of J.D. Ellis. J.D. Ellis in T11 is P9, 0.6 behind Craig Westley. Alarm 16 from Italy in T13 is P12, 0.4 behind Janine Glad. Herbal Alarm 16 passed Janine Glad for 11th. J.D. Ellis in T2 is P9, 0.3 behind Craig Westlake. Craig Westley is P8, 0.2 behind Ernest Heather. Ernest Heather entering the pits is P1. Craig Westley lost 9th to Tommy Glad. Craig Westley lost P12 to Nardus Fick. Janine Glad is P11, 2.0 ahead of Nardus Fick. Janine Glad is now P10. Ernest Heather exiting pits. Ernest Heather from South Africa in T2 is P14. Best lap is a 1:27.279. 2.422 off the fastest lap. Blake Kruger entering the pits is 12. Nardus Fick from South Africa in T5 is 11, 1.3 behind Janine Glad. Nardus Fick was 1.8 faster last lap. Blake Kruger exiting pits. Craig Westley entering the pits is 13th. Blake Kruger from South Africa is P12. Nardus Fick in T14 is 11th, 1.1 behind Janine Glad. Craig Westley exiting pits. Herbal Alarm 16 from Italy in T6 is P9, 1.4 behind Tommy Glad. Janine Glad is 11th, 1.2 behind Nardus Fick. Ryan P entering the pits is P4. Ernest Heather entering the pits is 13th. Mike McGear entering the pits is P6. Mike McGear is P6. Nardus Fick entering the pits is 11th. Nardus Fick is 11th. Brendan Griesel in T7 on lap 10 is P3, 1.8 behind Peter Grobler. Ryan P exiting pits. Ernest Heather exiting pits. Nardus Fick is 11th. Mike McGear exiting pits. Nardus Fick exiting pits. Herbal Alarm 16 in T8 is P7, 0.5 behind Tommy Glad. Herbal Alarm 16 was 1.6 faster last lap. Peter Grobler entering the pits is second. Peter Grobler is third. Herbal Alarm 16 is P7, 0.6 behind Tommy Glad. Peter Grobler is fourth, 2.1 ahead of JD Ellis. JD Ellis was 19.4 faster last lap. Tommy Glad entering the pits is P7. Peter Grobler exiting pits. Peter Grobler lost fourth to JD Ellis. Tommy Glad is P9. Brendan Griesel in T9 is P2. Tommy Glad is P11, 1.0 behind Nardus Fick. Tommy Glad exiting pits. Danny Van Ruyen entering the pits is P1. Danny Van Ruyen is P1. Blake Kruger in T2 is P12. Dolph entering the pits is third. Danny Van Ruyen is P2. Danny Van Ruyen exiting pits. Ryan P from South Africa on lap 11 is 7th, 0.4 behind Janine Glad. Janine Glad was 7.3 faster last lap. Janine Glad entering the pits is 7th. Ryan P passed Janine Glad for 6th. Dolph exiting pits. Herbal Alarm 16 entering the pits is 8th. Ryan P passed Dolph for 5th. Janine Glad is 7th. Danny Van Ruyen from Netherlands is 2nd. Best lap is a 1:24.857. Her bell alarm 16 is P11. Her bell alarm 16 exiting pits. Brendan Gryasel entering the pits is P1. Janine Glad exiting pits. Janine Glad is 12, 0.5 behind her bell alarm 16. JD Ellis entering the pits is third. Brendan Gryasel is second. Brendan Gryasel exiting pits. JD Ellis is P6, 0.2 behind Dolph. JD Ellis exiting pits. Her bell alarm 16 is 12, 1.1 behind Janine Glad. Janine Glad was 10.8 faster last lap. Her bell alarm 16 entering the pits is P12. Dolph is 5th. Her bell alarm 16 exiting pits. Nardusvik is 8th. Best lap is a 1:26.387. 1.530 off the fastest lap. Her bell alarm 16 is P12. Best lap is a 1:26.834. 1.977 off the fastest lap. Danny Van Ruyen is P1. Her bell alarm 16 from Italy in T3 is 12. Tommy Glad in T14 is P9, 2.9 ahead of Blake Kruger. Dolph from South Africa in T11 is P5. Ernest Heather is P14. Peter Grobler in T9 is third, 1.5 behind Brendan Gryasel. Brendan Gryasel in T13 is P2, 1.4 ahead of Peter Grobler. Peter Grobler was 0.8 faster last lap. JD Ellis is 6th, 4.1 ahead of Mike McGeer. Herbal Alarm 16 in T8 is P12. Ryan P is 4th. JD Ellis is P6, 3.6 behind Dole. Blake Kruger is 11th, 4.2 behind Janine Glad. Craig Westley in T11 is P13, 1.7 behind Herbal Alarm 16. Craig Westley was 10.4 faster last lap. Tommy Glad in T11 is P9. Danny Van Ruyen is first. Peter Grobler is third, 2.5 behind Brendan Gryasel. Craig Westley is P13, 1.3 behind Herbal Alarm 16. The leader has just finished the race. Danny Van Ruyen finished first. Brendan Gryasel finished second. Peter Grobler finished P3. Ryan P finished P4. Dolph finished 5th. J.D. Ellis finished 6th. Mike McGeer finished 7th. Herbal Alarm 16 finished P12. Craig Westley finished 13th. Nardus Fick finished 8th. Ernest Heather finished 14th. Tommy Glad finished 9th. Janine Glad finished P10. Blake Kruger finished P11.